What up, though?
Welcome back to the Unorganized Progression Podcast. It's your main man, Prolyphic the Professional.
I'm your guy, Jay Sims, aka Boomerang Bread on that IG.
Back with another episode. This week we are greeted by Centennial IPA from Founders Brewery, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Getting us a little bit of something in there. Cheers it up.
Come on.
Bing, bing.
Quick sip.
Quick sip. Goodness in the bottle.
It's kind of nasty, but no.
Anyway, so yeah, man, we're having a conversation off camera and off the mic about fears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not necessarily like phobias where like you're scared of spiders or you're scared of steep stairwells and things like that. We were just talking about man, and those things are valid too, but we're talking about psychological fears, man, where it's either a fear of excelling, a fear of making the next step, a fear of what is to come. And, anxiety ties into that too. I guess anxiety is a byproduct of fear. You know what I'm saying? And just a conversation about how to overcome those things. And a lot of times, it's all individualized. It's all about who you are, what you need to overcome that. But I guess for myself personally, a lot of times when I have people around me, that kind of eliminates the fear of whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whether it's public speaking, whether it's thinking you're not good enough to do whatever you're doing. If I got somebody around me, they ain't got to be cheering me on like a cheerleader at a sporting event or nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying? Just having that around me, comfort zone or what have you, sometimes that'll help me break through.
So when you say people around you, that means like friend or family?
Yeah, friends and family, or even sometimes if it's just a stranger.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you deal with a stranger, you talk with a stranger, and then they, for whatever reason, have this irrational confidence in you.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Maybe they gas you up thinking they can benefit from it too. You know what I'm saying? But
sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that happens. A lot of times it happens if you already got it popping. But that helps out a whole lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like for you, you know what I'm saying? I know that you're doing the thing with regard to, research and following the cryptocurrency world and all of that. I'm, without putting words in your mouth, I guess, I'm sure that there was a point when you first started researching this stuff, you kind of maybe not skeptical about it, but you just felt uneasy about it, I guess.
Oh, absolutely, man. I was afraid, like, first and foremost, to even, like, look at the chart. Looked at the chart, and it looked like Arabic, Japanese, Chinese, and 5 other languages combined. I didn't know what the charts were talking about. I didn't know what they said.
Right.
So I kind of like just piggybacked what other people was doing or what other people said they were doing. So I started like following newsletters, but it was just a fear of me actually getting out there and really learning stuff myself and taking the time and like mastering what I needed to master. I guess in a way I was like, it was like afraid to fail, but at the same time, afraid to succeed as well. Okay. So it's like if I messed up, at least I could say it wasn't what I had learned. It was because I followed somebody, I guess, in a way, right? And that's still a big mistake, But just the finances and just what we want to do, and as far as like what we think we want to do with our life, that's one fear. But you think about like as a man, like, okay, what if I don't bring home enough money? Or what happens if I get laid off?
Sure.
Or what happens if, am I a good father or a husband?
Right.
These things are real.
Everyday fears, too, because things can change from day to day. And sometimes you feel like you're doing the best job that you can today, whereas the next day you felt like you did all you could, but didn't get the same results. You know what I'm saying? And that can frustrate you as well.
Absolutely.
So sticking with that same subject matter, like what was the thing, if you can recall, and if not, we can move on, but what was the thing that kind of pushed you over the edge to say, all right, I'm about to dive into this? As opposed to, once you did the research, as opposed to just continuing to read about it, look at the commentary and all that other stuff, what made you just dive into it? So let me throw whatever amount of money into this.
Man, dishing the money out like into like investing was never like really scary for me. I think the most scariest part where the fear came in at is if, like, it's crazy, but like, what if I do succeed? Will I be a jerk? Will I be an a-hole? Will my marriage still last? How will my kids perceive me? Will I fall to like this, what we call like different sins, right? like a victim of my own success. I guess in a way, I was a little afraid of that.
Okay.
And now it's more so like it came to a point where I hit a wall and it said, hey, you either do it or you die. You know, I know that's kind of extreme, but it's real for me.
Right.
I said it's one of those things like I started making videos as far as like cryptocurrency. That's why I started making like little short documentaries.
Right.
And to even now doing this, you know, with my guy, man, like, hey, I want to create content. I want to somehow be impactful. I want to contribute and give back because I think that's what everybody should do, right? And I think this is the way that is meant for me to do it.
Right.
Saying this right now, every time I get in front of the camera, it's like a slight bit of fear. It's like, oh, get a little nervous. Stomach get a little queasy. But it's like I make myself do it. And I give myself a position like, hey, I'm supposed to do this with you. So if I call you, like, Jerry, I can't do it. If I say, Sean, I can't do it. You be like, no, you gonna do it, dog. What's the excuse?
Right.
You know, it's like accountability partner.
No, I got you. And to his point, that actually is kind of how this podcast actually came about. I watched as he continued to post his videos, which seemed like it was nightly or daily or what have you, regarding his endeavors in cryptocurrency. And, you know, I always had an affinity for creating content. You know what I'm saying? I'm a music producer by trade, but, you know, just creating content. And when I saw a friend of mine actually doing the YouTube videos, you know what I'm saying, putting the content out there, letting whatever he was doing be known, it seemed like a perfect situation. Like, let me just link up with him because he's already doing it. Yeah. It's hard to convince somebody to actually want to do something and they're not already doing it. And if I'm sitting back saying, this is where I want to be at, this is what I want to do, and I see somebody I know actually doing it, man, link up. Man, that's what social media is for anyway. It just so happens that I knew him personally.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But, and this is about to be probably like the corniest thing I want to say. But, you know, the F.E.A.R, F.E.A.R. You know, it's two ways you can look at it. I probably heard this on a rap song or something. I don't know. Credits to whoever it is. I'm not going to say I made this up. It's two ways you can look at it. It's F everything and run, which means I'm scared, I'm not doing it. And there's F everything and rise, which means forget it. It's terrible. I'm scared. But I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then you just pick which path or lane you're going to actually travel down, and you do it. I mean, it's you know, to a lesser extent, you know, I'm not necessarily afraid to jump in front of the camera, jump in front of a group of people, have a conversation, express whatever the case may be. But there are also those fears of, I'm sitting down, I'm seeing a lot of situations that I've been given the opportunity to be a part of. I'm getting passed up on a lot of opportunities, whether it's music licensing or a chance to get a placement or spot on somebody's album and things like that. And for no other reason than I just hear certain things and I feel like I'm not good enough. You know what I'm saying? I hear some people's joints. You know what I'm saying? Like, every producer or even everybody who was involved in music at some point has had a moment where they heard something and they was like, I'm not on that level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't have a recent example, but you know, when Dre would drop his joints, or when the Neptunes, when they were on fire, would drop their joints, I would hear that and I say, all right, I'm not ready yet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This sound, this song, this is why I'm not where I'm supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? And then that was sometimes you shy away from actually putting your stuff out or presenting to the people, and then you know, you just gotta F all that, leave that alone, and just continue to do what you do, be who you are, and it's gonna come to you, man. Like, I believe, at least. You know, it took me, honestly, I'll say I probably produced my first record in 2002. Never told anybody for years. It took me probably 9 years before I actually made it.
I never knew this. This is breaking news to me. This is my guy. Go back since like elementary school.
Since the late 80s. Yeah, man. And I didn't make my first real piece of change until maybe 2011. So we're talking 9 years. And not to say that money validates your purpose or validates your actual skill level or talent, but there was always the fear of me actually pushing forward and doing it. I could have been, you know, making better decisions and making bigger moves earlier on, but you know, just that fear of not thinking you was ready for it, thinking your sound, your Johnny's whack and all that type of stuff. I just kind of shied away from it for so long that it took me that long to get there.
So we got same thing in common. It was basically like the fear of seceding. This is what I pretty much got from that, man. That's crazy how, like, us in our age now, because I guess maybe because of social media, maybe.
That's part of it.
Now, we get on social media, and like you said in the previous episode, like, hey, everybody puts their best foot forward. Nobody puts the final notice letter on social media. Nobody puts, a repossession letter. It's too real. It's scary, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, everybody got to see me shining. You know what I'm saying? I want to be wearing something fresh every time I'm on social media. I want to capture the highlights of my life. And
what's gonna garner the most attention? What's gonna put me in the best light? It's kind of like how we're doing this podcast now, where we're actually recording this, and we possibly may edit some of the parts that might not be the most favorable to the discussion or the way we look or something like that. So you do the same thing on social media. You take the parts of your life that you don't think are all that flattering, and you cut them out, and you present the best product, quote unquote, of yourself. And you let people just believe that that's what it is. I'm not here to tell nobody what they should or shouldn't be doing, but that's essentially what it is. And I think you mentioned it on a prior episode. Sometimes you could look at that and you be like, damn, so-and-so's life is popping, and you get depressed.
You get depressed. You be like, damn, how they afford to go on like 6 vacations this year? Man. This is crazy, man. They ain't got no bills at the crib.
Why?
They must live with their mama. How's they do?
Right. But you start dissing them and start justifying your shortcomings based on the fact that you ain't there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This person might be doing well or well off, or they could be lying. Don't let that dictate how you actually move in life, and don't let that continue to leave you in a box of fear, man. Just forget all that, man. Just get out there and do what you can. It's easier said than done. I know that too, because we grown.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? There may be someone teenage years, early 20s that still hadn't come to that revelation, but at some point, hopefully sooner than later, you just got to jump out that box, man. Let it happen.
Yeah, one thing that we cannot do, especially as men, is compare ourselves to other men. Oh, man, we'll be up for like a rude awakening because we don't never know the other man's circumstances
at all.
Like we just talked about the vacation. Somebody going on 4, 5, 6 vacations in a year when you might only have the ability to go on one. But hey, who knows? This person may have got their house for a couple $1,000s. They don't have no mortgage, right? But you might be over here with a $1,600 mortgage every month.
Yeah.
So that it goes on like what you value, right? What we value. A may value the house. Person B may value the vacations. Yeah. And then both of them are fine, right? But just we gotta stop comparing ourselves to other people.
You might also, the person who's flying here, there, everywhere, might be in severe debt. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Would you rather be on this island or in this other city within the United States, but knowing that you $76,000 in arrears? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
maybe they plan on filing bankruptcy.
That's possible. That's possible.
That could be it.
Yeah, but some people live that life too. No knock to them. Some people just live that life. Free bird. Do what you do. I ain't that brave yet.
I ain't that brave.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I don't know if I want that. Right, I guess with having kids, I can't. I think we a little
too young.
Too past that.
Yeah,
right. Because that wouldn't be very responsible.
Nah, it wouldn't. Unless even if you didn't have children, maybe you still be kind of on that. Maybe, in 30s. I don't know. It's all up to the individual. But I know some people. Word to them, they doing it. It just never was my shtick. Like I never had a point in life where I was comfortable with having nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you were a little younger. Like you might have had $500 in the bank or something like that, but given your circumstances, you was like, all right,
this is not bad,
right?
Yeah.
I couldn't go with having like nothing, like my next joint coming at within my control. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't talking about growing up, you're a kid, you don't really have control of those situations. But when you're an adult, especially as a man, like you said, you probably should have a little bit more stability when it comes to that.
And a plan.
Yeah. Some sort of plan. It ain't got to be a job or nothing like that, but just something that's actually raking something in, or you see the upside and the potential is there.
Maybe that's what we lack so much as men. A lot of times when we find ourselves that we're not in the place that we actually want to be, is that because we don't have a plan for where we're going.
That's true.
Right? Because if we think about it, really, people talk about the future. What does my future look like? Well, your future look like what you're doing now. It's like, what but how are you hitting the ground to change your life? Right. You know what I mean?
Because the future is built, like you said, the future is being built in the present.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just wake up 10 years from now and just say, I want to be this.
I'm straight. My house is 5,000 square feet. Granted, it's everywhere.
Right.
You know, stainless steel appliances.
You got to be building toward that.
Yeah, you got to. It's. But you know what, too? You think about why, what is it, like 40% of the people who hit the lottery actually go broke
I've heard
within a few years?
I'm not sure of the number,
but
I heard a crazy stat, though.
But the statistics is crazy.
It's an overwhelming
number. You would think if I hit the lottery today, I'd be straight forever.
Yeah.
But most people probably feel like that, and they don't. They go broke.
That's true.
That's because they don't have an idea for the money. They don't have a plan for it. They brain can't even think to handle anything remotely as large as what they've been given.
That's true. And there was like a meme on Instagram going around relative to that, where it was like, if you can't manage $100, you can't manage 100,000 or $1 million or whatever the case may be. Which is, I'm about 60-40 on that.
I don't know about that either.
I'm about 60-40 on that, because none of the people for one, the people posting that ain't never had that type of money in their hands. You know what I'm saying? Right. But then two, there's some truth to it, because if you're the type of person that always has a plan, no matter how little or how much you have, then yeah, you probably sustain it a little bit longer. But I mean, that 40%, that's a crazy number that's out there.
But both could dwindle, especially if you don't have your money doing cartwheels. If your money now on the treadmill working for you, if it ain't working out, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna go anyway. You know, $100 will go faster than $100,000, of course, but yeah, they're both gonna go. We have to live. You want to eat, right? You got $100, you might be eating ramen noodles for like the whole week. You got $100,000. If you got $100,000 in your hand today, everybody will be out getting the best food that they've had.
Ruth Chris 5 times a week.
Absolutely, absolutely. Eddie V's.
Right. Y'all see what my income level is, because I said Ruth Chris, and I know if somebody gonna clown me about that, because I ain't even chewy, but it's all good.
Yeah, Ocean Prime. That's like you
Ocean
go.
Prime. I'm about to say Prime 112.
Prime 112. Listen, you go to like Eddie V's, you and your girl. Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna spend a good $300.
$300.
Okay. I mean, it's gonna be good.
It tastes like $300.
I ain't never been.
Oh, okay.
But a guy,
I'm looking at you like, you know what it is. I ain't never been there.
I met somebody that worked there.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
I met somebody that worked there. I was like, oh, that's nice. This is dope. He said, oh, yeah, you drive by or come by at night, you see like a Ferraris, Bentleys, all that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, okay. I don't know. What the menu look like? He said, everything is really expensive. He's like, you're going to spend about $300.
You're going to spend just for parking in the lot.
Maybe $4. Yeah, he said they parked the nice cars.
Yeah, because you might get some drinks.
In the cars that's not as nice.
They parked in the alley. They parked in the alley getting broke into.
It's in a nice neighborhood, right? So it's not too many. Yeah. If you most people not driving a hoopty to a place where they getting ready to go spend $300.
You shouldn't be. Unless it's like an anniversary or something like that.
You
know what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, that's the type of thing like with that. You know what I'm saying? You obviously, you gotta act accordingly. Now, if you just happen to be somebody who's just wired differently, and you had $100 and you was eating ramen noodles, and then you get 100,000 and you still eating ramen noodles, okay. But how long would that actually sustain? I don't know. Because the human mind and the human psyche is a lot crazier than that, where it's like, you're going to want to do some other things.
For sure.
There's some things that I want to do that I can probably afford to do. Like literally, I got the money to do it, but will it knock me off my square for the next week? You know what I'm saying?
Or it's not just it's not going to help you get to your ultimate goal.
Right. It's going to it's either going to leave me stagnant or maybe even put me back. Yeah. But then if I came into some extra cheese, like some real cheese, yeah, your mind is going to start to work a little bit differently. Like, that one thing, that snorkeling thing that I want to do, that deep sea diving thing, I'm going to go ahead and do that.
So you plan for those things. So, let me ask you this, Sean.
Yes, sir.
What got you out of your fear? What was it that you came across? What was it that you experienced? What was your, what do you call it, man? the last draw that you had.
Out of the box.
Yeah.
It came from other people, and I kind of grown from waiting, or I guess expecting other people to validate my I guess my skill level or something like that. But it came from other people. I'll shout him out too. Shout out to my boy Mike Foy, guy I went to college with in Nashville, Tennessee. He's doing his thing in Hollywood right now. He's an actor. He's a recording artist, which is how I met him initially. And for him to, you know what I'm saying, work on some stuff of mine, he put me in my first movie.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't in the movie, but a song of his that we worked on together that I did the track for was in the movie that he was in.
That's what's
Again,
up.
he's an actor. And
what was that?
The movie was called Choices. Now it wasn't the 3 6 Mafia. No, Decisions. My bad. It was called Decisions, and it was a straight little flick. It was one of them joints that you click on Netflix and you see it, you never heard of. It's like, what's this? And it was kind of cool because the scene was he was a recording artist in the movie.
Oh, wow.
So he was recording the song as the scene in the movie. So I'm like, this is dope. This is kind of tight. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is the guy who I met probably in 2001, 2002. We did this movie, I want to say, in like 2011. So we talking about a 6-year span, and I hadn't seen him in years, you know what I'm saying? And then we linked up, and he was like, yo, I got this movie I'm doing, I want to put this song in it, put the song in it. And I'm like, okay, so you thought this was good enough. Regardless of what level you thought this movie was on, you thought this was good enough to put it in this flick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
I appreciate that. You know, when we talk numbers and stuff like that later.
You know what I'm saying? You just want the accolades.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And just from people like that, those experiences, I'm like, man, and just hearing from people. I had another homeboy named Ben in North Carolina. He's living there at the time. He lives in Seattle now. And I remember having conversations with him back in the days, maybe 10 years ago or so. And he's putting other people on the phone that are down there with him, you know, telling me how much they like this song, and how much can I get these tracks for. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't never even met this person in my life. So it's like, oh, okay, so people actually like this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that was just further validation. And it's a slippery slope, man. It's like an ebb and flow thing because as long as that was ago, I still have those spells where it's like, nobody called me in like a month or so, you know what I'm saying? This didn't happen. I ain't got no plays. I ain't got no TV shows in a minute. So I start thinking I'm whack at that point. But then, you know, you might have a situation where you sit down and you look at all that you've accomplished. And I think that's important too.
True that.
When you get to a certain level, no matter how small, no matter how large, you have to always, at some point, reflect on the things that you've already done. So you won't fall back into that rut and feel like, damn, I ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Look at what you've accomplished and appreciate that. Because if you don't appreciate it, you die searching for the next joint. Or you die searching for the next, yo, I ain't nothing yet. Nah, man, you've done some things. Appreciate those, dog. Because if you don't appreciate it, nothing else is going to come.
You got to celebrate the accomplishments.
You do, no matter how small.
A lot of times we forget to celebrate. Just like in investing in cryptocurrency and or stocks, a lot of times it's so easy to like not be able to pull the trigger and take a profit on something. It's like I've been caught in this thing myself. I'm up $400 or $500, you know, within like, you know, 20, 30 minutes, and it's like, okay, I see it dripping or dropping. And it's like, okay, I can't sell because it's going back up. And I'm thinking like the market owes me something. The market don't owe me nothing. So then I watch it break even, and I watch it. I'm down 100, 300, 500, $600. I'm like, oh my God. Now I'm selling.
You feeling like you made a mistake.
Now I'm selling, and it's like, cause I panicked. I felt like I had FOMO, fear of missing out. You know, and it's something that we shouldn't necessarily have. But just always, whatever we're doing, go into it with a plan so we can have like an exit scam. That's crazy.
I
So
know what you have.
We have an exit plan, man. I said scam. It's because there's been so much talk about scam lately on finances.
Yeah, you know what? That was actually a perfect segue, man. Talk about that. I was gonna let you finish, but I'd heard some things.
Yeah.
Well, I've always read some things, but I've seen some things more recently. But go ahead.
So as far as like scams and like cryptocurrency, people think that Bitcoin may be a scam or Bitcoin will fold. but the people who really understand the value and the purpose for Bitcoin and how Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin is created to stay alive as long as the internet is alive. People say, oh, you can shut down Bitcoin. Well, the only way to shut down Bitcoin is to shut off the internet. You can't shut off the internet, right? Right?
You can't.
Because we have medical records.
I think if there was a way to shut the internet down, I think like 70% of the population in the world would just die.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how they would. They would just fall off.
Dude, it'd be chaos.
It's life for them. You know
Listen, if the internet was gone, we wouldn't be getting direct deposit, right? We wouldn't be getting our paychecks. We don't have cash on us. Everybody uses these little cards in our wallet, just swipe. So we wouldn't have access to no money, man. We'd be trying to barter for like the first 45, 55 minutes. Then you got a gun.
Then you start robbing.
We
the
gonna
purge.
Hey, listen, the purge is gonna be real.
Right.
But it's people are talking about scams inside of like cryptocurrency. Okay, yeah, there have been some scammy things for sure, but there's also been like scammy things inside of the traditional, what we call traditional financial system. Right. You know, you know what to me is a scam? It's like when you swipe your debit card 7 times in one day, and you would automatically assume that it will fall in the order that you swiped.
Right.
But sometimes those things that you swipe may not show up for days later.
2 days later.
And you're not paying attention. Right. You got less in there than what you actually think you got.
Especially on the weekend.
Especially on the weekends, because you maneuvering through the city.
And then they tell you, oh, the bank was closed that day. The internet wasn't closed.
The internet wasn't closed.
What you talking about? So we're saying all that to say there are certain fears, certain roadblocks, certain hurdles in front of you. And I think the best way to get over any of that is to look at the situation in front of you, assess it, and be honest with yourself and making a determination as to what it is that's stopping you from getting over that hurdle. What it is that's stopping you from knocking down that roadblock or hopping over that mountain or climbing that mountain or whatever the case may be. You got to be honest with yourself. Don't keep it real with me. Keep it real with yourself.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to be as nice as Sean is right now. Sometimes you got to tell yourself, look in the mirror and say, dog, you are being a punk. If you say you're being a bitch, say I'm a bitch right now. Whatever it is that's stopping you from getting to like what you need for yourself or with your family, maybe your spouse, maybe your kids. You know, you just suck that up, be a man or a woman, take responsibility of what you're doing currently and like how you can actually change it. Take what you want, make a plan, and just go. You know, or you know what? Just go. Hey, you don't have to make a plan. Just go. This is unorganized progression, right?
Unorganized, man. You just do it the way you do it. Sometimes you don't have a plan, but your plan is to get somewhere. You just don't have the middle ground laid out. So and I'm going to throw out an even cornier reference, which kind of speaks to what he just said. A great man by the name of Michael Jackson once said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. That's what he said.
Hey, I think that's it, dog. This is unorganized progression. I'm half 50%, whatever of the shit.
Oh
man.
yeah,
I'm
man.
Jay Sams.
I'm Prolyphic the Professional. Boomerang_bread on that IG and Prolyphic the Pro. I'm gonna spell it out for y'all because I put it on there, but sometimes people be acting stupid. PROLYPHIC the Pro. The rest of it spelled right. On Instagram. And follow us on Steam It too, man. STEEMIT.com, man. Get you an account and follow us on there, man. It's it's a cryptocurrency earning social media platform that you need
so
to
you get paid to blog.
All that stuff that y'all be doing on a regular basis, get on there. You can earn money from putting those things that you do on a regular basis, man. So this is Unorganized Progression. And as always, we'll see you in a week.
A week.
Peace.